and this is real life. So welcome chat. This is real life here. Look, as much as I like optimizing in video games, I have to optimize real life. So we have to play real life. Real life is more important than video games. We live? I think we are, eh? Alright, well, for now, what we're gonna be doing is we'll be playing real life. Look, as much as I like optimizing in video games, I have to optimize real life. So, right, I was gonna optimize this here. Oh, you might see some secrets of mine. Not really, it's not a secret. Just gotta do the work. Alright, let's continue to work here. This is basically like a video game, okay? Like, you see me play video games, why not see me play real life? And this is real life. So welcome chat. This is real life here. I'll continue doing the work while the viewers come in, and if you guys are watching, I don't mind, but we have to play real life. Real life is more important than video games. So I need to optimize everything. So, alright, back to work. I guess I could talk through the work I'm doing, which basically means optimizing the most, a new routine due to the new diet. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, I just got doxxed. Who's that? Who cares? No one actually knows. Okay. Yes, that name's dead anyways. When you optimize real life. So it's either 4-hour window stream or 6-hour window stream. Maybe I should pull up Grok as well, so I could show you guys the actual work I do. Hold on, I don't want to get doxed here, but we're playing real life, okay? It's not as entertaining as a video game, but, you know, it's just, you have to optimize real life. So, let's see here. I was optimizing some time periods here. Oh. Okay, let's see here. We'll do that, do that, and basically just optimize everything here. And I'll see still if there's chat, if anyone wants to talk. Okay, let's see here. We need to optimize everything to the best of my abilities. So 6 hours, 5 hours. The stream window is 6. The time window is 6. 4, 5. So 10. But the course said 6. So around 11 a.m. Okay. So then if it's at 8, so intermittent fasting will not work with this new course at all. Intermittent fasting will not work. Will it? I mean, roughly around 1400 to 5, how many hours? 15 hours. That's 3 hours less than what I usually do. That's not, you can barely intermittent fast with that. Unless, of course, I do Sundays and Saturdays are different. No, but then I'm not even counting calories anymore either. Okay, so I'm gonna talk through my work. Usually I just stay silent. Yo, in real life, well, no, if I'm not streaming, literally all I do is just this. And just stay silent and just calculate it in my head. But since I'm streaming, I gotta make it somewhat entertaining, so I have to talk out loud about my thinking. So, Monday, Friday, so Saturday, Sunday is opportunities to possibly fast, but now I'm not counting calories anymore because I'm using the, what is this called? The What is it? I can't show the real world on Twitch. I don't think I'll be allowed to. Can I? Don't know. So Vitruvian doesn't even count calories either, as long as I'm eating that. But if I do somehow eat, oh no, but that's the beauty of the Vitruvian. That's literally the beauty of Vitruvian. I don't even pronounce it. Vitruvian nutrition. That's the beauty of it. I don't have to actually count cows because I could just control it with my mind and chakra. So that doesn't even in intermediate fasting will not. But then you don't even need to fast because you've got the most optimal thing. Trust the process. Okay. Okay. A lot of thinking, a lot of mindset thing, but with the new strategy here, I don't have to go twice driving, which minimizes like a whole hour. Yeah, that means I'm more isolated within the compound, which I'm fine with. Huh. More isolated into the compound. That gives me more time to... Okay. Well, technically... So... Trophology says with beef 10 hours period before starch. Okay, beef before starch is 3 hours. Okay, so total. Okay, so you want 8 hours. But you're already doing the most intense part, which is the steers. And you're still doing the... Okay, so... This bit not dox me, because Grok is gonna... Period time, 310... Why not? Reflects total digestion. Okay, so then... And... 5 a.m. after 10 hours is around 1500. 1500, so that gives me an opportunity to train 2 hours prior. So I'm sacrificing steers. That's basically 1 hour window. So if it's 1 hour's there, that means it actually minuses. I could either do 5 hour stream or 4 hour stream. Stream window. But then I could also do... I could do V3 as well. V3 might be allowed, but then also... That I'm pretty sure that just limits my entire... Okay. That might limit my entire... Oh, but you can't even go out in that time anyways. So... Oh yeah, you can't even go out during that time anyways, and things open later. So I think we're just gonna stick with a 4 hour stream. Could do an extra hour, but that fluctuates. But got to keep it consistent. Like 4 hour stream. Then 1300 to 1300 to around 1500 is okay. No, we'll go 1430 20. So basically an hour. But then it also takes, so around 1430. 1430 is around. Oh, but if I do steers straight away, that causes sweat. Oh, that's the main thing, isn't it? Yeah. It causes sweat, which makes the iron body harder. Well, not really harder because that doesn't make sense then, because usually when I first began iron body, I was already sweating like a bitch. Can't swear. So doesn't really matter. But then the protein and veggies might be an additional hour to that process. So therefore, well, no, that's pretty easy to adapt to. Pretty much 4:30 to 5. It's actually going to be. It's actually just going to be called recovery plus protein veggies. Okay, wait, we're cooking here. And then it will actually be. I would assume. Oh no, I would assume it would be like 5:30 instead. We'll just do 6 for now because obviously extra time will just go straight to work. So then 6. So we can get rid of that now. And around 6 to 9 it'll be work, which is 3-hour window to do all of the tech things. 3-hour window. Okay, 4-hour stream window, okay. And then after that, I still got 1 hour of that. Oh no, but if I'm eating slightly later, then it would be around 4 p.m. in which I eat, because I doubt it'll be 5, it'll be around 4. So the window is going to be around 4. Let's just mark that down at 1600 is definitely where I will be doing the carbs and veggies. Then if I'm doing that, no, but fasting doesn't actually matter, but then also I could minimize the carbs due to if I add in fruit carbs. Okay. That's a lot to 6, 8. Okay, there's a lot of thinking going in my head right now because the program doesn't even say to do intermittent fasting anymore. Nah, I don't think it will matter. No, because there is no such thing as intermittent fasting within this program, especially. And obviously, I trust Professor Alex more than Cobra, because Cobra is all over the place. So then, that means if I apply the fruit section, 4 hours of fruit. No, that won't make sense because no, you can't. Do I really want fruit? Not really. Because you want to train straight away in the morning. And then that 4-hour window period can be stretched. Kind of. Yeah, we're already starting. Okay, so man, this is like harder than a video game. obviously, because this is real life and the time periods is far more complicated than what I would actually do. So 4, 5 protein, veggies, 1 fat, not. No. Okay, fruit carbs is at it's like 4 hours. Sweet variant. Do I really want to add a sweet variant? I think I do. Then I also have to add that variant. That's like 4 cups of fruit with 1 thumb of honey. But then that is before. $1,300. Okay, 1,300 to around. Oh no, we could add that. We can straight up add 2 cups. 2 cups. We can actually add 2 cups fruit, but what kind of fruit do I have to add? Let me check.
Give you signals like pain. Here also fruits. Now we have many categories of fruits and basics. Of course, here.
Okay, so wait, if I that's gonna be how many cups of fruit is that? That's gonna be like 4 cups of. It's 4 cups of fruit, which is 4 cups of carbs. However, if I look at this adaptably, I could actually minus that one because I don't actually need that one if I have that one already. So 2 cup fruit, 2 cup fruits, which will be acidic or subacidic. Oh, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Within also 1 thumb. I kind of want to do 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs might be a bit better because then that also balances out the nuts. So 2 thumbs. Do I want 2 thumbs? Well, no, the course didn't mention 2 thumbs of that. Does it? Let me have a check. Guys, I'm sorry if this is boring, but this is real life. Real life work is far more, better than video games because video games, it's just like, it's like a false reality of what you should be doing in real life. So, yeah, it's around 1 thumb, 2 thumbs of raw. 2 thumbs are allowed. 2 thumbs are allowed. Okay. Then we'll go 2 thumbs then. 2 thumbs are allowed of fat, which is honey. Okay, that's allowed. Carbs and veggies will be after training, but that should be fine. This should be like super light, won't even matter at all. So that's straight away, and then 3 to 4, so that's around. We can do about. Well, obviously the stream isn't actually going to be ending straight away at 1, because so now I could have it pre-prepped during work. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, so straight away eat. So 1 hour, because 30. I could just do bike. It doesn't have to be a brisk walk. And I could absorb sun as well. Oh my goodness. This new strategy is insane. What? Wait. Oh man, that is good. I can absorb sun. I could absorb sun. Yeah, I could absorb sun full but naked. I could absorb sun fully naked as well because of the time period here. Oh, that's good. And I could like do jail walk as well. Jail walk backyard. Oh my goodness, wait, this strategy is insane. Yo. Oh my goodness, that's actually insane, except... Okay. Okay, hold on. We could just expand it all the way until 16 or 15, you know? That can literally go all the way to 16. Well, that's kind of a huge 3 hours though. But, okay, we might have to minimize Twitch for a bit. Hold on, let me just... I can still see the chat, you know? But this is far more important. I'm sorry, but this is real life. And the strategy I'm making right now is insane. Like, I'm... There's an alternate version of me who's playing Schedule 1 right now, trying to optimize the best drug to sell in a virtual reality game, where in real life, I'm targeting the most optimal routine from the... Oh, that's gonna be good. Hold on, so 1300, I give myself 30. Yeah, so eat that straight away. And I can absorb sun with jail backyard walk with option of... Oh no, but I could only need like 30 minutes. Yeah, I can only absorb sun for so long. But okay, we're adapt. We're gonna adapt. So pretty much 30 minutes. So 14. Maybe we should probably split this up really. So actually what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to take this down and I'm gonna go 13 to around 1330 is where I'll be able to, you know, in stream and consume that earlier. And then once I finish consuming that earlier, I'll give myself another 30 minutes window frame of... So to around 14 is where I can absorb sun, do a jail backyard walk. That's only path 1. Because if there's no sun, I'm gonna have to make 2 paths, because if there's no sun, then it will not work. So I'm gonna have to do 2 options here. Sun. There's a diversion here, but no sun. Like e.g. raining, cloudy. So obviously 1300 we're gonna absorb the sun with a jail backyard walk, which is 30 minutes, so that pretty much sums that up. And then if there is no sun, then we will just do, you know, we'll have to just do a bike, you know? So, but then you want to do 1 hour. Okay. So we've got 2 diversions here with sun, absorbing the sun, biking, because there's no sun. Okay, I don't really have a treadmill, but that's pretty easy. As long as I don't have to go driving, which saves a lot more time. So then, okay. That's possible brisk walk. So what is that metal sound noise? Don't even know. No one's here in the chat, it's fine. Just me and live streaming how I do work and how I calculate things. Because you can only absorb sun for so long. before it will turn into a 14 to 14:30 a bike. Yeah, we'll do extra cardio, that's fine with me. And if there's no sun, we can just do 1 hour of biking. Around that, just slow cardio. Slow cardio, super easy. Bike, I could always do work. That's why alternatively treadmill, but we did this. Dude, that beginning part is gonna be insane. Oh, that beginning part's gonna be absolutely insane. I mean, I get it, I'll be a tiny bit wet, but the only thing that would be like annoying wet is, you know, the bench press. I could always alternatively swap shirts as well. That gives me a chance to. Well, again, it's not a big deal, honestly, because like I said, when I first began Iron Body, I was sweating anyways. Plus, then I get a proper recovery. Absorb the sun with the jail backyard with a bike. So I'm assuming after that, I might have to do. Well, I always did that at the beginning as well when I had double recovery. So double recovery. Look, I know I'm supposed to stream, and that's why I decided to stream this, even though it's not a video game. Shut up. This will go into the other channel, which shows my big brain thinking. Okay, so we'll continue here. 1600. No, what am I saying? 14. So around that, I could begin. Do I begin V3 or do I shower? Depends. Most likely. Most likely we can just go straight into V3. So 14:30. We can go straight into V3, which takes. Oh, I'm doubling V3 as well. And by the way, if you guys don't know what V3 is, V3 consists of almost 30 to 1 hour time of abs, depending on the energy levels and everything. 500 push-ups, 300 squats, 200 dips, which collectively take 500 push-ups takes 30 something minutes. Depends on. It really depends on your like level, because at the beginning it took V3 took me a longer, but as you get more consistent with it, obviously just like life, you know, V3 you get faster and faster at it because you're not as tired, you know? So it's like example V3's abs used to actually take me 1 entire hour to do. But then I've blitzed it so much, like I've gotten so good at it that, you know, takes nearly 15 to 30 minutes. But like that's because at the very beginning of V3 abs, like the exercises would be very sweaty, very hard. So it took longer. But it was good because now I could do it way faster, but that means I have to double it. So I usually give myself 1 hour time frame, but the stream's done already, so pretty much I've got a lot of free time. I would maybe assume, okay, well V3 will just take, okay, let's just give myself a good hour. So If I'm doubling abs, that's an hour. Doubling push-ups is an hour, so 2 hours. Squats will probably be like 30 minutes. So 2, 3. Dips will give like dip. I did have data actually. I remember I calculated how long it took me to do dips. It was on Sunday. Was it Sunday? I remember I did record. I remember recording myself doing V3 dips and how long it took me. Because I remember I had to blitz. I had to blitz so many dips. It was insane. Because I had to catch up after moving. After moving to the new studio, I had to like blitz. Yeah, okay, so to do 3x of V3, so 3 times of the ab workout I usually do, it already took an hour and 15 minutes. So we could actually assume that. Okay, we'll just make a quick mental note here. Mental note. Abs 2x is 1 hour around. We'll give it ourselves 1 hour. And then dips. Okay, dips are pretty easy. How many do 1,000 push-ups would definitely take an hour at least. If I blitz it, that is. And then if I'm doing 300 squats, do I want to do 500 squats? I could do 1,000 squats, but that's kind of insane considering that I did stairs already plus that. So if I'm doing 300, I could do 600. Is 600 a good number? Wait, let's just quickly do an additional. I'm gonna get doxed if I do that. Oh, I just got doxed. GG. Did I show anything bad? No, didn't show anything bad. Yeah, all it showed was time calculation, slow, fasting, sleep, safe car, efficiency. Oh yeah, okay. Nothing to worry about. No doxing there. Actually, there's nothing wrong. There's actually no doxing with my grok stuff. The only thing that probably the worst thing that's, no, there's nothing really wrong with here. Yeah, it's just, I guess that docks my weight, but who really cares? That doc, oh yeah, see, luxury bedding with a spooky name. That's like the only thing that was probably bad to docs. Besides that though, we could just do 500 squats to make it nice, which is probably around 30 minutes, 15 minutes. But I like to give myself, what I like to do when I do V3 is I like to give myself just a lot of time, because I know that, you know, example, if I gave myself 1 hour to do one ab still, but obviously I finish it really fast and then I can continue the rest of V3. Oh wait, yeah, it's 14, it's 213, so carbs and veggies can be 8. Oh, I still have work, but that, no problem. That's pretty easy to do. However, today I can't do this routine because, yeah, you know. Oh, this is gonna be good. Hold on, let's take a break real quick. Obviously to the bathroom, but the strategy is insane. I love it so far, man. This strategy is gonna be good. Okay, back to work. Back to work. Let's get back to work, shall we? Yeah. So that the 230 iron body. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a whole bunch of sense, honestly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah, we're calculating how long it takes to do V3. Yeah, just probably 500. Do I want to do 500? Should I just... If I'm gonna double it, I might as well double it. But I don't really like how 600 is 6 a good number? Chinese numbers. I know that 8 is good because it's money. But what's unlucky Chinese number? 7? 6? Okay. 4 is the most unlucky number. What? 7's considered unlucky. Among Chinese Cantonese speakers, it's lost or gone. It's just like, it's not a nice number. Where's that ratio number? Oh my goodness, I'm so dumb. You have that Vitruvian number system, the golden ratio. Oh my. Yeah, I had that. Hold on. Sequence number. Okay, actually, we could do a golden ratio v3 actually. Hold on. Look at this number. Look at this sequence. What's the closest number to 1,000? The golden ratio. Oh my goodness, we could optimize v3 into... Okay. 18th term. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that's pretty... Okay. We'll go 987 push-ups then. Okay, we'll go closest to 600. Because we're obviously times twoing it. The 15th term. Okay. Okay, 610 squats. 15th term. Okay, hold on. That's pretty even so far. That's not bad. And then if I'm doing 200 dips, 400, so oh, yeah, we can't do 400 dips. No way, because that's too close to number 4, which is death. So closest. I can't do the same amount of dips. 500. You know what? The 14th term seems a lot more efficient. Yeah, I mean, it's not 400, but it's not... It's the 14th term. 300... Okay, we could do that. Dips. Oh my god. That's gonna take so long. It might actually override it to... Oh no. Should be fine. I might lower the push-ups. Show me term 10th to 20. Oh my lord. Oh, term 20 is 4,000. Okay, yeah, we could not reach that. Okay, 500, 610 is a... Oh. Would you look at that? Yo, what's up, Versa? We're playing real life here. Which is basically where I'm doing real life. So instead of a video game, we're optimizing real life video game. Which is what training is. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So creating a new system for real life. So we're not playing any video games right now. We're playing real life video games, which is making an optimized plan and efficiency. So that's what we're doing right now. And right now I'm calculating a training routine, and we're just deciding to double the workload, which means 987 push-ups. It's gonna take an hour to do that, and then 300. That's gonna take around 30 minutes. Okay, we actually don't need it. We don't actually need to calculate the time here, because pretty much we got around an hour and 30 minutes to do that. Okay, so mental note is basically V3 training is gonna include a lot of improvement. You're gonna do that on stream? I could. That is an idea. That is part of the Truman Show idea that I always had in mind, but I feel like I want to do this when I'm like already fully toned. Like right now, I'm not a low enough body fat percentage to. I mean, it's decent enough, but like it'll be more influential when I'm at a lower body fat percentage. That's going to be more influential. But yeah. Also, Versa, if you check out the YouTube channels, I'm going to have a second channel soon, which shows this type of streaming. So we've got the main channel, which is obviously gaming, and second channel is off-topic thing, not off-topic things, but like things that aren't that entertaining, but more of like me, which is this type of stuff. And this is literally the type of things I do that isn't necessarily entertaining, but showing my mindset and framework on how I tackle real life issues. Because I'm a problem solver. If you didn't know, training and working out is solving a problem. People that work out or train are problem solvers because they've identified a problem, which is their health, and they understand that in order to solve the problem, they must take action and plan. So that's just normal basic things, really. So mental note, cancel that. So V3 training is going to take that long. If we go over time, it's fine, but okay, so we'll go 6. It's going to be around 1600, but obviously this varies. So we're going to do V3 training upgrade. Of course, we'll see how I feel, because everything's about how you I mean, it's kind of weird to say. It just depends on how long it takes to do this. But obviously, if you're a beginner, this V3 training is going to take you way longer to do. You just have to get used to it fast. I could do pull-ups. I need to add pull-ups to that. I haven't actually... I can do a pull-up now. The 10th term. I think we'll start with... Because if I'm doing 377 dips, what sounds appropriate is probably 89, the 12th, 89 pull-ups. 89 pull-ups. 89 pull-ups. Okay, I think V3 training is gonna take way longer now. So I'm gonna have to split it into, well, all of these move the body extremely hard. Abs definitely want to do on an empty stomach. That's for sure. You never want to do abs on a full stomach, whether that's water or food, because obviously you want. Okay, push-ups are decent. You could do push-ups when you're full because it's not as draining. So we could move that across to here. Squats definitely you do not want to do that stuff when you're full because you're like, you move your entire body as well. Dips is also full body. However, I don't necessarily mind the extra food, but we'll be able to tackle this within that period of time. Pull-ups. Pull-ups can be last because I haven't actually applied that to V3 before. So that's definitely going to take some time. So these are main priority here. These first three ones. And then push-ups are remaining time. Remaining time ones. How did you come up to do so many? Well, I'm just following. Currently, the current training I'm doing Versa is 500 push-ups, 300 squats, 200 dips, but I'm upgrading it obviously because extra training. Because I love stress. So obviously if you want to add more stress to your life, if life's too comfortable, you got to add more. And plus, when you do them for so long, or not so long, but when you do them constantly, you just have to add more volume to it because it gets too easy. It's like, for example, me doing 100 push-ups is so much faster now compared to if I first began, which took forever. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 push-ups when you're a beginner is like super hard, but 10 push-ups as a athlete is far easier because it's like you're basically floating, you know, you're just like 1, 2, 3, 4, like very fast. But when you're beginning your push-ups as a beginner, you're like, each one is super hard. Sometimes you have to get on your knees. I remember that. I remember having to get on my knees and doing knee push-ups. Those were the beginning days. Yeah, start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. So remaining time is that. However, once we hit, okay, so that's fine. Remaining time hits that. So then once we hit 1600 is when we consume the remaining last meal. So no more intermediate fasting, but that's okay because we'll probably still be hungry as hell, I think, right? Let's check here. Yep. So 1600 to, I would say around 5 to 4. Let's just continue 5. How many hours? Obviously with AI now and today's thing is super good. Okay, is it gonna load? 13 hours. So it's not gonna be intermediate fasting anymore, but like I said, the course never said to go intermediate fasting anyways. And like I said, you still got Saturday and Sunday to do fasting if you really, really need to, depending on the food you eat. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. So carbs and veggies to, okay, you probably want to, yeah, so that kind of just depends on the day, but I'm just going to assume that there's no So pretty much you just eat the food plus work. So that's either labor work or just work in general. And then you can always continue. So 17 to... Oh, wait, we're pretty much good to go there. Oh, we're pretty much good to go, actually. 17 to like 20 is like, you know, just work. So if there's any remaining V3s, if there's any left. Because you want to give yourself at least 1 hour of digestion. V3 and then just work, like just general work. And that's really about it. Then of course 20 to 21 is kind of just, it's kind of just recovery or sleep. But yesterday I couldn't even manage to stay up. So like, I literally died at 20:30. Like I was so sleepy. 20:30. I guess that's about it. Honestly, I could just go straight up to 20. So 8. I mean, look at this. Oh, I'm gonna have to wake up slightly earlier too. It's like 8 to or 20 to around 2. How long? Sh 6 hours of sleep. Or more like 5 hours of sleep. But I cannot. Okay, the deadline is 100%. Hold on, 4 hours before. 16. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because even if I sleep at 8 o'clock or 20, it's still 4 hours before the last meal. Because you always want to eat your last meal 4 hours before you sleep. Never eat food 4 hours, like within, like example, if you sleep at 8 o'clock, okay, if you sleep at 9 o'clock, you have to eat your last meal at, 4 hours before. You shouldn't eat food like 1 hour before you sleep or 2 hours before you sleep. You want to at least finish your last food 4 hours before you sleep. So that includes like snacks and literally everything. Don't eat food. Don't consume anything 4 hours before you sleep because then you're screwing up. Or it's just a rule. I don't know the exact science behind it, but it sounds tight. So then 21 to 20, it's just a recovery or sleep. And then that's like 6 hours of sleep. Around that. Most likely 4 hours of sleep, but I'm used to that already. So 5 to 4 hours of sleep. The remaining work is there. So that's a lot of... Okay, obviously the remaining work includes, companion time if you really need to. But who really cares? Like, I'm busy, just go away. Leave me alone. Okay, so that. So I've got around 3 hours plus, so like 6 hours of work. Around that, 7 hours of work. So it's around 6 to 7 hours of work. 4 hours of streaming. 4 hours of streaming and around like 1, so 2, 4. So around 8 hours of training slash diet. So obviously it's not 8 hours of straight up like training, but in total it's going to take me around 8 hours to maintain the body and the soul and the mind. And there's not really much. What, 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That's basically about it. I mean, there's like calculate any implications. What counts as work? Pretty much just, well, what I'm doing right now is work, but I'm streaming it instead. And like just a whole bunch of what is it called? Background work when I'm not streaming. Like managing all of I haven't even tackled the affiliate marketing or the social media stuff yet because I've just been incredibly, my priorities are completely all over the place. Like moving out or like moving into the new studio took a lot of time out of me doing the marketing thing yet, which is like YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok. So that's slightly delayed. I haven't actually touched that yet. And then other work includes framework things, investing, which, investing's investing, community. So obviously within my network, I have to do a certain amount of work and helping others. And then basically planning. So this is what I usually do when I'm not streaming. If I'm playing video games, oh no, when I'm not playing video games, this is the exact kind of work I'm doing, except I'm okay with live streaming this kind of work because it's pretty natural. 25 hours, huh? So there were implications. That's like a full day. Of course, within the 6 to 7 hours of work is potential free time to do, I don't know what kind of hedonistic things you want to do. If that's what you want to do during those hours, be my guest. If you need to have time with your girlfriend or have time with your friends or, I don't know, procrastination, that's within the 6 to 7 hours of work. Just depends on how you do things. And of course, the 8 hours of training and diet is varied because, within maybe 2 hours of that 8 hours, you could either finish your training faster or eat longer or do something within that period. And of course, adaptations within your day. Although I am going to say that the increase of V3 training it's going to be hard. That's definitely for sure. But I'm ready to tackle that. That's pretty much it. So there's a whole new game plan. So now I'm only going to the gym once. Before I had to go twice to include the stairs. That's pretty much the whole schedule. I think that's pretty good. Carbs and veggies work. Huh. Consume. I got 2 cups, 2 fat. 4 cups. Yep. That's pretty good to go. And then if I look up here with the things here, oh, there we go. Look at that. Showing some Professor Alex there with my help, Mr. Wong. Yes, that's me. So protein 8 palms, veggies 6 fists. That makes sense. So protein, the best way to cook protein is a slow cooker. The carbs are raw potatoes, rice if there is any. Triphology, 3 to 4 maximum ingredients. However, that's low priority. Of course, you just want to get the food in right. So dinner is protein and fats, veggies. The fats are these kind of fats. That's allowed. 5 to 7 of fats or nuts is allowed. So actually, it's going to be like 5 5 thumbs because 2 are going to go into honey. So technically, the lock and target now is actually going to be, it's still going to be updated from routine. It's actually going to be protein 7. Protein 7 palms, I'll do that, that's fine with me. However, like I said, if I gain more fat or weight, then I'll cut it down, but I'll let the golden ratio decide what my body will look like at the end of it, and I'll adjust accordingly. Veggies will stay at 6 plus fists. Carbs, oh, okay, here we go. So, obviously I want to divide the carbs. Let's get the pathology combination table.
You need to also remove.
Also, we might as well get the fruit table as well. We'll grab the fruit table as well. Firstly, you can learn a lot from this if you want to, or not, it's up to you. Okay, so for the starch, for the carbs, we obviously want. Alright, so in our routine here, we have 2 cups of, or 2 carbs of fruit. So if I'm having, what is it? So probably 5 starches of. Oh, no, hold on, I'm missing something here. I am missing something here. I got 2 normal fruits here. Okay, I think I could actually. If I look at the, oh my god, the thing's getting messy here. 1 cup, so 2 cups here at 0-100, so 4 hours. 4 hours. So technically, 4 hours after recovery, so that's 10. Okay. 4 hour stream plus 1 cup fruit somewhere. Somewhere within 10, around 10, right? 4, 10, yeah. Okay, so around 10 is another cup of fruit. So that's around 3 cups. Oh no, it has to be later though. No, it has to be later. 4 hours in. Where is it? Oh, 1 sweet. Wait, I can't even consume that. Can I? I don't know if I can even consume that. Oh, wait, this is so complicated. I just realized that I need to add at least 1 sweet fruit. I need to at least add 1 sweet fruit to the mix. But then I just also realized that the whole reason the carb and veggies is at 1600 is because of how long it will take to. Oh, okay, hold on. There's a lot of things to do here. Digestion's around 6. Okay, I'll just ignore that rule then. It's fine. I'll ignore that rule. Oh no, I can't ignore rules. But I have to have at least that before that. Carbs and veggies is like the ending kind of fuel. You can't have any more food after that either. So I'm gonna have to fit one sweet fruit somewhere within. Oh. Yep. Okay, here, found it. That's a good window to eat it at. So after the cardio, you can have one cup of sweet fruit. There we go. 1 cup sweet. There. Okay, so we got 3 cups of. Where was I having it? Here we go. So I think we've got pretty much everything ready. So if I've got 2 cups of the normal fruit, so 2 cups of acidic. Oh no, we'll do sub. No, okay, acidic slash sub-acidic fruits. We'll go 2. We have 2 of them. 2 cups. 2 cups of those. And then also we have 1 cup of sweet fruit. So sweet is 1 cup. And then also we have 2 okay. We're only allowed 7 cups. So obviously that means 4 cups of carbs. So starch, starch is 4 cups. And then within the fats, which is thumbs, we have 5 thumbs of nuts and other things, and then 2 thumbs of honey or sweet. What is it called? Sweeteners. Sweeteners. Yep. That's fine because sweeteners are allowed with carb fruit, which is there. Okay, this routine's extremely messy on my screen, but mentally, it's pretty good to go. Right? Protein. Okay, so updated from routine. So we'll go copy this, and we'll go drag it down here, just like that. So updated from routine, we got 7 palms of protein, 6 of those, 2 of those. Yep, and then just like Professor Alex said, if what is it? If I get too much, or if I feel low on energy, I can bump up 2 or 1 carbs of I could bump that up if I really want to. If I'm getting too fat, then I will minus the carbs, but the protein is fixed. The veggies are fixed. That's all fixed. Is this routine done? I think I've done it. I believe I have done it, everyone. This is obviously going to go on the other channel because this is not video games, but it is definitely something to observe. I think that's about it. That's about it, really. 2 very heavy day. Maybe clean it up a bit. Time. So 6 to 7 hours of work. Okay, that's pretty good. And then the diet. So we'll just name it diet. Is that? I think we're good. And then I'm gonna start this tomorrow. Sounds good, considering that I haven't had food in 38 hours, counting. That's how long I haven't had food for. And I'm gonna plan. Okay, that's not bad. Everything's going good. Obviously, I'm hungry. Oh no, not really. I think I'm still. If you didn't know how fasting works, even though I haven't ate food in 37 hours, I kind of ate quite a lot of food on Monday. So I'm like, I think I'm still going through absorbing the food. It doesn't really matter. But as long as I don't pass 72 hours of fasting, because after 72 hours is when your body starts to attack the muscles, well, I think it just depends really. Theoretically, after 72 hours of fasting, your body will begin to attack the muscles, but not like fully attack it, because if you still have a lot of fat, it will still absorb some of the fat, but it will start to begin absorb, like even if you're really fat, it will still start to target muscles as well because it wants to grab all the energy. So just don't fast over 72 hours. And also, if you are fasting over 72 hours, you have to only eat veggies. Hold on, let me quickly put this face cam here. I can show you some notes. Webcam only. Cool. I can show you guys some notes because there's actually people watching, so it'll be very good listen. Because as much as you want to play video games and upgrade your character in a video game, your number one priority should be always upgrading your character in real life. Always upgrade your character in real life first. Oh, I don't have any fighting in my regime. Here we go. This is allowed on Twitch. Iron Body Program. Oh, okay, it's nice. It's Pure Blood Podcast. You guys probably might know that, but it should be fasting. Here we go. Yeah, fasting is a double-edged sword. Always remember that. It will remove toxins, cancer cells, but you will lose muscle mass. That's true. I have lost quite a lot of muscle mass. Like, I used to be able to bench 100 kgs, but I haven't even touched 100 bench at all. No, wait. There's no way I could ever bench 100 kgs again. There's no way I could bench 100 kgs. I will literally get destroyed under the bar because it's going to be so heavy. But there's no light without dark. No light without dark. There's sacrifices to be made. And even though I can't bench 100 kgs anymore, on record I have my 120 kg bench on video. But that's pretty much the highest I've ever gone. And the highest I'll ever go, because I'm never going to get that fat again. Ever. Where was it? Fasting is something 72 hours. That's okay. This extended notes, I can't really spoon feed you guys these notes because you have to take it yourself. You have to go through the Pure Blood podcast yourself. But this is like, it's like almost 81. It's really good. It's like this document is just personal notes from the podcast, but this podcast is like a gym because it's from my professor. I used to be an endomorph, but now I'm a mesomorph. There's a lot of data. There's so much information in this doc, which I'm applying to here. But you have to go look at the Pure Blood podcast yourself in order to actually craft the blueprint, because spoon feeding the blueprint isn't always the best. You have to have willingness to learn the blueprint yourself, because then life values hard, and if you make it hard, you get rewarded. Because if it's spoon fed to you, then it was never worth anything. That's kind of example how university and schools does it. They make tests hard on purpose, so the people that actually try get good grades. The people that don't try get bad grades. But then also that derives into the topic of how that nerd at school, that nerd at high school, isn't actually smarter than you. What is actually, that nerd at high school isn't smarter than you. What he actually is he is caring about the schoolwork more. I noticed that. I remembered there was this guy in my high school. His name was Devin. I can't dox his name, but Devin, he was really good at economics. But, okay, probably his IQ was good. But what I'm saying is that the only reason he got good grades in economics is because he actually cared. He did practice papers. If you saw his Instagram stories or posts, he did like 10 plus practice papers. And that's why he got good grades, because he cared. But for example, me, on the other hand, I didn't give a shit about economics. I failed that and then left Who cares? But it's the matter about caring. So most of the nerds you see at school, they may not be smart on paper, but it's because they cared more. It's all about care. It's the same as what I'm doing right now. Well, the same as what I'm doing right now here. I'm doing this diet thing because I care. It's all about care. What actually matters is how much you care. It's universal logic. Everything's about care. I think this is good done. Giving some good information here. This is done. I think we'll be able to begin the actual live stream of gaming. Because I care about that as well, to a degree. And we still got 3 hours of work. I could reinstall Schedule 1. I'm craving it a tiny bit. Because I never actually completed it. I kind of rage quit it. But if you saw the YouTube video, I didn't really rage quit Schedule 1. I kind of overworked it. And I was like, yeah, well, it's good to go. Yeah, I think this course is done. Not course, but this strategy is good to go. I mean, I could optimize the actual food with you guys if you want. First, you want to see the food? I can show you guys the food. We could stick to working here. I'll go quickly to the bathroom and chat. You determine if you want me to go to video games or continue the optimization of this, which includes actually showing you the foods I will be researching and consuming. That'll be quite interesting. You guys can vote. Alright, did you guys decide? Anything in the chat? Food? I saw you win the Schedule 1 game. Nice. Okay. Versus said food and no one else said anything else. So, we're gonna do the research on food now, which is gonna be quite interesting. Okay. We will research food. Okay. Now then, here's the list of foods we have. Let me make a heading. So we're gonna go food. Or mainly ingredients. Ingredients is what. Ingredients. And what I'm gonna be doing is, since I'm in New Zealand, I'm gonna, if there's any other New Zealanders or anyone who lives nearby me, we're gonna be using 3 supermarket chains. Isn't it ironic? Supermarket Simulator. We're gonna be doing Countdown, Neo World, and Pack and Save. Luckily, I've prepared the computer so much that I am not going to get doxed using Firefox because I've set this up to manage zero history. Okay, let's quickly look at the list of foods we are available. So, what we have here is, if I look over it on the screen. Alright, vegetables. And now, of course, we have the ingredients list, but I'm going to be showing you guys my optimization of selected choices because as much as you could choose the food you have, right? It also depends on how you cook it because you don't want to use the most retarded way to cook it. See, versa, that's what I mean by including work because the work here, 6 to 7 hours, includes cooking. So, yeah, but I've managed to optimize the cooking so far to where I spend maybe like around an hour or 2 just depends on the cooking, but you need equipment. But that work within the 6 to 7 hours is also like prepping stuff. Like I said, that 6 to 7 hours of work is background things. So obviously managing all of the media, Twitch, everything, all the background. Is it called background? What is it called? I'm not sure if it's called background. Behind the scenes. So that also includes cooking as well, because you you don't want to never ever. Okay, meal prepping. I know some people say meal prepping is gay, but if you apply the caring scenario, if you actually care, then it's not gay, because you're caring about your diet and food. You're not just gobbling up shit. Can't swear, my bad. Alright, what we're doing? I was off topic here. No, I was talking about how the 6 to 7 hours of work is behind the scenes, which is like prepping food. Because when you want to eat your food during the day, you don't want to start it from scratch. Who does that? You should know that by now. You shouldn't start from scratch. You should have it prepared already. Well, then that's actually gay if you're starting from scratch each time. Okay, so we've got vegetables and we have animal proteins. Okay. Animal proteins are kind of... I mean, the list here is kind of interesting. Let's have a look at the list here. However, when it comes to animal proteins, it is super, like, this is too complicated. Because anchovies, they're kind of hard, because let's have a look. Let's use Countdown as an example, because it shows the ingredients somewhat. But you're gonna learn so much from me here. I mean, I'm gonna teach you so much. But anchovies, when you're buying foods, by the way, this entire diet work only works with like natural foods. It doesn't actually work with the basics. So anchovies, what is that? Did I just read that right? $80 a kg? You must be messed up to think that's okay. Oh my goodness, what? Bro, what? Why are anchovies dummy expensive? What? What is that? That can't be real. That cannot be real. Okay, that tuna's okay. Okay, anchovies out of the question. No anchovies. Screw that. Okay, animal-based protein powders, ignore that. Cut that off. Beef, always grass-fed beef. Always grass-fed beef. You don't want anything else, because if you have grain-fed beef, or anything that isn't grass-fed beef is bad, because first of all, if you're grain-fed, you don't know what kind of grains they eat. They could be eating grains that are genetically modified. They could be eating corn that's genetically modified. They can be eating just a whole bunch of things, and whatever the cow eats, you are eating. So if they're feeding the cows bad grains and bad, like, just overly chemical artificial foods, and then you eat that cow, you're eating that bad stuff. But grass-fed is the best, the only option, because grass-fed is natural, because, well, that's what they eat. Grass-fed, that's like perfectly safe, perfectly normal. So grass-fed. Animal proteins. Let's change the... We're gonna adapt to this. Not adapt, but I'm gonna tailor it to my thing. So chicken is also a bit tricky. Generally, you always want to have grass-fed beef, but chicken is like budget. It just depends. Free range and caged are the same. Who cares? I don't think free range and caged chicken is much of a difference, because they still eat the same thing that you feed them. It's just one has freedom to walk around just a couple more. The other one's caged in a trap. I never understood it. But free range and caged chickens, to me, they're the same, because they are eating the same kind of foods. Their environment's just slightly different, and whatever. I don't care. But chicken's for budget, and that's kind of hard to determine. But chicken's like budget slash probably last priority, I would assume. One of their last priorities, because man, that is do I know how to spell priority? Chicken is probably last priority budget, because there's no such thing as grass-fed chicken. You know what I'm saying? So that's chicken's kind of hard, but it's like budget last priority. You know, if there's like no more of the other options that we're about to go through, then chicken is the last kind of thing. Cottage cheese, cross that off because that's just too hard to identify. Eggs are the same as chicken, but however, you do want to at least have 2 eggs. But okay, well, eggs and chicken, whatever. Gelatine, cross that off. What? Lamb? Okay, lamb's okay because you can actually have grass-fed lamb in New Zealand, at least. So that's possible. Mackerel is decent, but it's the same. Mackerel is the same as anchovies, whereas like it's just fish. Meh, fish. Okay, well, mackerel is a lot cheaper than fish. So okay, there's actually kind of a lot of animal proteins to add. We'll just add these because even though we cross it off, it's still like, you know, fish is fish. Sure, there's like microplastics in the water, but for that kind of stuff, you can't really do much about it. It's like, well, everything in the ocean has microplastics if you really care. But you can just ignore it, really. Oh, salmon's actually a way higher priority, but sea bass, what? Who has sea bass? Sea bream. Whitefish. Okay. Just fish is these. We could just name it into fish to make it more simple, because this is like so much stuff, just fish. Okay? Just general fish. General fish, whatever. General fish is fine. That's decent to eat. Salmon, on the other hand, is very, very good. Probably one of the best fish. Actually, it is literally the best fish to eat. Salmon, especially in New Zealand, because in New Zealand, in Twizel, where I live, joking, around there, salmon, you have the canal salmon. So, New Zealand has canal salmon. So, as long as you buy, if you're in New Zealand, as long as you buy salmon that come from the canals, which are located in Twizel or around Twizel, you can eat those salmon, because those salmon are very good. Very, very good. Don't dox me. You can't dox me. Here, around Lake Tekapo, salmon in New Zealand, very, very healthy. You could have all the salmon in New Zealand if it comes from a canal. Because the canal salmon they're good to go. I don't know how to explain it properly, but as long as from the canals, canal salmon are very good. So get brands from canals. I'll show you some brands real quick. Salmon. Okay. Yeah, you probably want to avoid Ocean Blue or John Wick. You don't want big salmon. You want salmon from like reputable brands, companies. So that includes, I know there is, if I just search up salmon, High Country salmon, very good. Yeah, see. So High Country salmon, yeah, that's good, very good. That comes from canals. Yep, Alpine salmon, pretty much salmon just come from canals are good. Of course, you could still have salmon from overseas, but I wouldn't if you live in New Zealand, I recommend just eating New Zealand salmon. Try not to get overseas salmon. But of course, overall, salmon's good in New Zealand. However, I am unsure how salmon works in, example, the US, because the US is just a whole bunch of stuff. Yep, salmon's good. Salmon overall is just good. Okay, well, moving on to the next food. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so lamb, grass-fed lamb, yep. Milk, cross out milk. Mutton, mutton's like the same as lamb, no? Organic meats, organ meats. So, organ meats is just basically, as long as it comes from one of the two grass-fed, it's fine. Parmesan, too risky. Pork. Pork is in like the same category as chicken. However, it's like a big debate. Because like, there's no such thing as grass-fed pig. And pigs kind of eat anything they want. So, I mean, okay, religion-wise, I know that in Islam, pork is forbidden. But I also know that in general, pigs just eat whatever they want. So therefore, whoever is raising the pigs will feed them whatever they want. So it is like super, it's not risky, but it's like low priority. Same as chicken, because you can't actually choose what they eat. You don't know where you buy it from. Generally, you want to just put pork as a low substitute. Grass-fed animals will overrule pig always. So, yeah, pork. I don't know what is that. What is that? Ricotta? Okay, yeah, ignore that then. Salmon, we just went through those. The sardines and sea bass and all that seafood is, you know, general fish and seafood is also low priority. This is a priority list here, top to bottom. Number one ranking is obviously beef, lamb, second ranking. They're the same, good ranking. These two are just low ranking stuff. And that's pretty much it. Whey? What the hell's whey? Nah, ignore that as well. So we're done with that. That's pretty much the protein list we could cut down to. So grass-fed beef, good. Grass-fed lamb, very good. Salmon from canals, good. And then general fish and seafood is like, and then pork and chicken are low priority. These three are very good. So these are like top priority. These two are generally like, if you somehow can't afford or find these three, these are luxury items, obviously. They cost more. Obviously, the good protein costs more money than the general peasant stuff. So, yeah. Luxury high foods that you can afford. These are like budget, kind of, if you're broke or a peasant or you don't care. That's that. All right, next up. Carb and starches. Now, I'm going to tailor this as well because tailoring this is extremely... oh, wait, peas? Okay, actually, we'll just keep that there because as these are all pretty good to go. I mean, there are some things I have no idea what they are. Like, for example, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. Don't know that. The only things that I am interested in is probably beans, chickpeas, corn. I'll be very wary of corn, so I'll ignore that. Lentils, mint, oats, pasta, peas, potatoes. I like the peas. Peas are good. Potatoes, they're also good. Pumpkin, no-brainer. Rice, yep. The rest of them, I don't actually know. Sweet potatoes, yeah. Sweet potatoes are fine. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, after we go through all of these, I'm going to teach you guys my method of cooking them because as much as you know what the ingredients are, you have to learn what and how to cook them the most efficient way. Because obviously, you guys are going to learn soon. I'll talk about it soon, but pretty much you want it to be very efficient to cook. We're not here to talk about texture. We're not here to talk about flavor. We're here to talk about just the nutrition. So as long as it gets in your body, That's all we care about. We don't care about if it like tastes like. We don't care if it tastes bad. We don't care if it's mush. Okay, we're living like the Matrix, all right? And if you didn't know, Matrix has goo. Matrix goo? No, not that goo. Matrix slop. This is what we're basing the diet and food on, okay? As long as it's got all of the nutrition, vitamins, and minerals, then we're gonna eat it. So I don't care if it is bad texture. I don't care if it tastes like dog. It doesn't matter. What matters is the nutrition. That's all I care about. So no fancy kind of ways of cooking it to make it taste good. We just need the nutrition. I don't care if you blend it all and drink it. As long as we get as long as you get the nutrition and vitamins, that's what we're aiming for. So that's what I'm going to be doing the cooking on. Because you don't want to be like him. You don't want to be like Cypher. You don't want to be like that. We're here to be as nutritional as possible. So if, like I said, there's no light without dark. Sacrifices will be made. That is what I'm going to do. That's what we're going to do. All right, next up. Oh, fruits. Oh my goodness, that's a huge amount of fruits. The fruits here is obviously sectioned into, well, if you saw above, it's sectioned into more of that, so we're going to put that in there. The fruits and veggies, okay, yep. As long as you have, matter of fact, we don't need this image here. We could get rid of that image. Because this image is probably just what we need, which is telling us what goes with what. So sweet fruits, I'm probably just going to go with bananas because bananas are super easy. That's the very easy sweet fruit. And then the rest of them are kind of just simple, sub-acidic. So fruits are super easy. Alright, next up is fats. Oh, fats are really good. I already listed down the fats I really wanted, which is this. That's pretty much all the fats, really. You've got honey, which is a different type of fat. No, honey is a sweetener, not a fat, but pretty much I'll just show you the image anyways because you guys don't have access to it, but the fats is pretty much all that. But the ones I'm going to choose that are easy to know is just all this. Avoid the cheese unless you really you have to do research on that. But for now, I just ignore cheese. But just nuts, okay? And especially you want to make sure that the nuts are roasted in. Let's see here. I'll show you guys. We'll use almonds as an example, but it's either have the nuts raw, or if you really want roasted, have them dry roasted, right? Macro, I think this is the right one. There's a difference between dry roasting and oil roasting. Never ever eat nuts. I'll show you an example here. Don't eat nuts that are roasted with canola oil, or just don't eat roasted nuts that have been roasted via oil, because they're just you're better off eating raw organic, or just raw. You're better off eating raw nuts rather than roasted nuts that have been roasted via oil, because then you're just eating oil. So don't do that. Don't eat fats. Oh no, don't eat nuts that have been roasted via canola oil or just any kind of oil. If the package says roasted via oil, I'll tell you in ingredients. Look, vegetable oil, that's still oil. So you might as well just eat organic. You might as well just eat raw nuts. So if it's roasted, you're only allowed roasted that are dry roasted, which means that they just used heat, nothing else. No oil, no nothing. It's going to be more expensive, of course, but that's the whole reason. Yeah, see, look, dry roasted. Yeah, perfect. Dry roasted nuts and raw nuts is allowed. Never ever have the standard roasted nuts because those have been roasted in oil and mass produced. And those oils, no sir. You're already having natural fats. Why would you want to add oil? No. And if you really want oil, you add olive oil. That's the fats done. Okay, next up is sweeteners. Sweeteners. Yep, pretty much out of the list. Just have raw honey. Raw honey's fine. That's pretty much the only sweetener there is. And then herbs and spices, you kind of just... The thing you realize about having a good diet is you're going to cut out basically everything. So, herbs and spices. So, if you look in your fridge right now, if you have any kind of mustard or tomato sauce or mayonnaise, just dump that all. Because I doubt any kind of sauces or condiments you have are highly likely just filled with bad stuff in it. So, like I said, we're not here to have optimized flavor, we're here for optimized nutrition. So, just like the reference of this image, you're not going to have much of a good time eating it. Because you're trying to get the nutrition in, not the taste. The reason it tastes so good is because they have bad stuff in it. So example, burger sauce, no burger sauces. Like, look at this. If I just go find the burger sauce, look at this. Hold on, look at the ingredients here. What? Look at that. Are you telling me you put that on your food? Oh my goodness. Look at... What? Oh my... Don't have sauces, no sauces. Because pretty much all these sauces you have, burger sauce or... Like, what is it called? In America, you guys have ranch. Who the hell has that? It's just fattening sauce. You're literally just adding pure fat to your body if you're having any kind of sauces. Tartar sauce, no tartar sauce. Look, if I look at this, oh my goodness, like what? That's why you don't have sauces. No sauces allowed. So the only acceptable sauces are none. No sauces allowed. Herbs and spices, salt, sea salt or pink salt. Refine, yep, and pepper, black pepper, white pepper. That's about it. Okay, I mean, these other herbs and spices, like garlic and stuff, and thyme, jalapeno. Oh, jalapeno. That. I'll show you. Okay, fine. Here, look at here's the herbs and spices list. Herbs and spices, these are okay, yep. Standard stuff, really, except to keep things simple, we're just going to use salt and pepper, maybe some chili, but like jalapenos, you have to make sure they're organic. Yeah. Just simple stuff, really, but this is just for flavor. Except for the salt and pepper. Just flavor. And we're not here to care about flavor. The only reason the salt and pepper I allow is because sometimes you want a bit more salty. Sometimes you want a bit more pepper for some kind of excitement. But never have any of these sauces, okay? You are going to get fat and unhealthy because, yeah, no sauces. Not even like, just nah. I bet if I go to any kind of sauces, you're just going to find bad stuff in them. Like, look at this. Barbecue sauce? No barbecue sauce. Cause, oh my goodness. What? Why do you need natural color? It's just full of sugar, full of additives and bad stuff. The only exception I would maybe make is... Oh, no, you can't even trust that anymore. See? You can't even trust that anymore because it's from... Okay, if you go to a like actual Chinese or like Asian grocery store and the ingredients at the back, the Asian kind of sauces like soy sauce are okay. Or it just depends on the soy sauce as well. It's very complex, that probably like a whole nother live stream to talk about. But Asian sauces and chilies, most of the time, are good. You're allowed those, but you just have to be really, really careful because recently, those Asian kind of condiments, right? Like if I say those Asian condiments are okay and you go buy it, but then you look at the back and you realize that you've bought a psyoped version of it, which means the company works with the Western country and adds a whole bunch of things that it shouldn't have. Like for example, recently there was this like instant noodles that a certain family member used to eat, and I said it was okay, right? I was like, oh yeah, I looked at ingredients, flour, this and that, simple ingredients, and I was like, oh yep, you can have that ramen noodle, it's fine. But then when she bought it from like a Western supermarket, it was the same brand, same company, but the ingredients were completely different. So you have to be really careful there. So there's like different variants. You just be very careful, but that's okay. We have no ramen in the list. I think that's about it. Drinks, just have water. Yeah. Okay, I think we got all of the ingredients now. We just have to talk about how to cook them all. Okay, pretty simple really. Foods and ingredients. So we'll go take this, and now we're gonna go how to cook. How to cook, because we cook very, very easy to understand. Hopefully you guys are understanding this, but it's super easy. Okay, so we're just gonna focus on salmon. Salmon, you just air fry for like 10 to 15 minutes with like 180 to 200 degrees. That generally works out for me, so that's what I'll recommend. Now, here's the interesting part about protein. I've done many various tests, and we're talking about efficiency here. The most efficient way I've found to have grass-fed beef is pretty much just grass-fed beef chuck, grass-fed beef bola. Now, the reason for those two pieces of meat... Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I think I'm just gonna... Grass-fed beef, okay? You've got chuck, bola, brisket, and rib. No. Short rib. Not ribeye. Short rib. Now, make sure obviously all of these are grass-fed, because it clearly says grass-fed beef. So the reason why you want these pieces of meat and nothing else is because this method is probably the most efficient and easiest one, the most time-saving one. So obviously that is just slow cooking. Slow cooker, very minimal effort, like it's pathetic how easy it is. Slow cooker, you know, pretty much just add the piece of meat, around 1 cup of water, salt and pepper if you really want, and that's it. And then just slow cook for like 14 to 16 hours. So very simple. You just dump meat, forget about it, and then, forget about it. And it's just tender and soft and mush. And that's about it. That is like probably like 5 to 10 minutes of preparing. Open the package, probably like you know, give it a little rinse or something, depending on how you buy it, and then you just put it in the air fryer, you put it in a slow cooker, set it to low setting, and then just leave it there for 14 to 16 hours, and then after that, it's all good to go. You got good meat. No added oil. No, it's just salt, pepper, and meat, just how it should be, and just slow cooked. So it cooks itself. That's why it's so good, because with the slow cooker, what it does is actually just it warms up the piece of meat, and then the fat in the meat breaks down, and then it basically just cooks itself in its own fat. So you don't need to add any oil or anything. So yeah, forget about steaks, forget about ribeye steaks, porterhouses. I know it's tempting and good, but you spend way too much time preparing that, and you spend way too much time cooking it, and it requires more attention. You have to cut the steak up, trim the bits, season it, go to a hot pan or cast iron or whatever you people want that care about the flavor and taste. And oh my god, don't even get me started on people that like use butter and like, what is it called? I see it online. They braise it or something. They're like, you know, put the pan in and get the butter and like whisk it, like throw the butter constantly on the steak. What? There's so much time, and just give me the meat, put it in the slow cooker, done, and then forget about it, and then it comes out soft and tender, and like you basically spent 5 to 10 minutes, probably less than that. You just put it in and done. So you're good on that. Why would you want to? So avoid steaks and all that stuff, because that just takes way too much time to prepare. I was like, are you kidding me? And like you don't even get much as well, and you can't even like bulk prep it. You have to cook it individually. It's a waste of time. So okay, there is one more way I did experiment with, but it kind of takes too long, so I don't really want to mention it, but I will mention it just to keep it on record. But grass-fed lean mince, or just mince. But this one is kind of really annoying. Pretty much it is the Asian meatball method. So pretty much you have a food processor and you use small starch, baking soda, and then you have to mix it. You mix it, and then boil it. Meatballs. But that takes, I don't even think I'll ever do that again. It takes way too long. The only benefit about having the grass-fed lean beef mince is if you dedicate like 4+ hours on it, you can create like a whole month's worth, like at least like 2 weeks worth of meat that's microwavable, easy. You see, that's another problem with like having steaks, because steaks you can't even prep it for like multiple days. You have to do it on the day, like on the time you're gonna eat, which is why it's such a time waster, because you can't even like prep a ribeye steak for the next following days, because microwaving the steak is like gay, because you're gonna overcook it and it's like, just give me something tender, soft, easy to eat. Slow cooker, you can microwave it when it's done cooking, and it's easy. So is the meatballs, because they've grinded up so much that you could like nuke it and it'll be fine. The only exception I've ever tried with steaks is buying it in bulk and using an air fryer for like 25 minutes. But it's like a four finger thick steak. And like without the proper, you can't do it in regular supermarkets. You have to find an actual like, you have to go to a wholesale place and you have to buy it in chunks. You have to buy like the whole thing and you cut it yourself. It's too complicated. This is even too complicated too. The only benefit about this is that it just depends. Grass-fed, the slow cooker one is good for like consistent. This one's good for like long days. Okay, and then for the grass-fed lamb is the same thing as the slow cooker. Just shank, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you could do shoulder as well, but that's really about it. Just slow cook that as well. Probably 14 to 16 hours too. Who really cares? Alright. You have the protein done. We're done for that. That's it. Protein done. Salmon done. That's it. That's literally it. That's all the protein you need for the rest of your life. Literally. I mean, okay, not for the rest of your life, because obviously when you get richer, you have a professional cook for you, but we're kind of just doing it ourselves for now. Obviously, when you're like rich, you just hire a chef, a 24-hour chef to just cook you based on the ingredients, and he'll do the calculations for you, and he'll cook it for you, and we're doing this off efficiency with a personal chef. He is spending more extra time making it look prettier and making it taste better, but it takes away his time. But you know, you're paying him for a reason because it saves you time. Blah blah blah. Who cares? That's later. Okay. Now here's the interesting part, which is what I was actually researching before the stream, was vegetables. That is extremely interesting to cook because you need a lot of vegetables. Why is... Now, what I'm probably so far I had listed down, oh my goodness, this document is getting bigger and bigger each time. Oh, hold on, I gotta be back real quick. I forgot that I literally have slow cooked carrots in the slow cooker right now, and it's 3 minutes before it's done. So let me go take that out. I'll be back. Oh yeah, I completely forgot I had that. Oh yeah, I literally have slow... Oh. Okay, well, I just checked the carrots, but they're not even ready yet. So makes sense. Okay. We're looking at vegetables. Right. Okay. Oof. It's been already 2 hours of this work. But I mean, what's the difference between me and, video games? You know what I'm saying? Like, in video games, it's the same, so. Yep. Slow cooker. Just when you finish slow cooking the beef or just slow cooking in general, carrots, cabbage, tomatoes, red onion, celery. Those are pretty easy to slow cook. Of course, if you really need it to, you can dedicate around 30 minutes or something, or whatever, dedicate boiling broccoli if you really want. Boiling broccoli. You can't go wrong with vegetables, okay? Just, vegetables are good to go. Anything on the list is good. Because vegetables, if you didn't know, you can actually overeat vegetables, because I highly doubt you can actually, like, get fat if you just eat. I mean, obviously to a degree, you can get fat by overeating vegetables, but that is so hard to overeat vegetables because they just have 0 calories. You're going to get full. Your stomach's going to get full by the time you even gain any kind of fat from eating vegetables. Of course, when it comes to vegetables, steam, boil, that's about it. Steam, boil, raw. Steam, boil, raw. That's really about it. That's literally about it. Do not stir fry. No stir fry, no oil. Nothing that requires extra things, okay? So just natural. No olive, just no adding oil, no pan frying it, no deep frying it. Just simple steam boiled or raw veggies. Simple. It doesn't have to be so complex. It's just simple things, really. Okay, so that's that. Pretty easy to understand. Not much to it. Vegetables are just easy. Easy, especially with having the slow cooker as well. You know, it's just easy. Easy, and then for the carbs are actually super easy as well. If you understand the sacrifices. We already had, those are pretty easy, but to cook the carbs. Oh, what I actually found recently was that was super efficient is if you have a food processor and you have like a grating function, shredding function, you can literally just shred the potatoes raw, so then when you microwave them, or like you reheat them, microwave slash reheat, it's basically just rice. So yeah, that's pretty easy. Carbs are really easy, and rice. The one thing you notice is that in the diet so far, in the ingredients, there's no bread. I mean, yeah, there's sourdough bread, but you're gonna have to just ignore bread. You're gonna have to miss out on toast, no bread. Just simple carbs. Very simple carbs. And I think that's about it, guys. That's literally how the food is. It's super basic. Probably like prison food, really. But that is the most healthy way to eat. Yeah, that's literally about it. No junk food, no nothing. It's just super healthy food. Simple whole food. Natural. Avoids natural things. And then once you realize how much food, how simple food is supposed to be, the next time you go to the supermarket, you'll realize that everything is just garbage. just get the natural, normal food, and that's about it. Super easy, super simple. Now let's recap because I think that's it for the study I was gonna do, the research. You know how in video games you see people like researching? This is what researching is. Okay, so let's just recap quickly before we move on to a video game. Because we still got like 2 hours of streaming. Or I can just end it and then prepare for the day. Okay, so pretty simple. Updated routine is... Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Yep, stairs, iron body, recovery, protein, yep, and then do some work, yep. 4 hour stream, yep, every day. Or, yeah. I mean, it's been inconsistent lately because of how much work, but we'll get there. In stream and then consume the fruits and honey, and then absorb the sun and do some cardio. After, yep, if there's no, yeah, do that. One cup sweet fruit, which is basically just a banana. Maybe less than a banana, because my hands are small, and a cup is like, cup is that big, and then a palm is like that big. Okay, and then V3 training. Yup. And yeah, and this time the V3 training is using the golden ratio numbers, so that's why it's 610 squats. So just extra questionable numbers, but it's just part of the golden ratio. Just for the looks of it. And then, yep. That is the final meal of the day. So just the carbs and veggies. Yeah, that's literally it. And then you got the remaining, if there's any remaining V3 training to do or just work in general. And sleep and then do it all over again. Right. That's about it. I guess